I think that in response to trauma, this is not specific, I would say, to survivors of the Holocaust, but I think generally, we are all today talking about grit, resilience, strength. These concepts have permeated everywhere. Why is it that one set of circumstances knocks one person down and becomes the resource with which another person builds themselves up? And what is the difference between people who, after extreme experiences, basically survive because they're not dead, versus those who are alive and come back to life? And what does it mean? When you survive, you live very close to the ground, you are often suspicious, you don't trust, the world's a dangerous place, and you cannot leave the base. Because in order to leave the base, like a child who leaves the lap of the parents, you need to feel safe enough that there is a base to come back to in order to go and to take risks and be creative and be playful. All these experiences, or be an entrepreneur, all these risk-driven experiences require you to be able to deal with the unknown, because all of them have an element of uncertainty. If you are too afraid of the unknown and all what you try to do is protect yourself from it, you cannot go out in the world and do all those things. On the other side, if you understand how to create an antidote to death, how you actually use this very same thing, how you maintain yourself alive in the face of adversity, that's when you enter into the continuum of resilience. To experience pleasure, you cannot be worried. It just don't go together. You cannot be at the same time anxious and vigilant and experience pleasure. Pleasure comes with an element of freedom and unself-consciousness, a surrender. And that surrender you can only do when you have a modicum of trust in the world, in yourself, and in the people around you.
And that's how, so when people have that trauma, they need to get that trust back before they can then go venture more, take more risks. And some people never do.
And some people never do.
There's a principle from my book where I talk about, from all the people I've interviewed, they always have some type of adversity that they turn into their advantage.
Right.
And that's what you did.
Yeah.
You had this adversity.
You're like the alchemist of everything, but especially adversity.
That's it.
And I think that's a trait amongst all successful people. I think if you see or talk to or get in a conversation deep enough with somebody who's actually built something of their life, they're going to be able to tell you something that was terrible, and they're going to be able to show you how they saw it as an advantage. Mm-hmm. And I think that's such a huge key. How many things do we hear about from the average Joe that, you or I or any of these other guys could look at and be like, wait, dude, this is actually a good thing if you look at it this way. They're like, no, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
If you ask anyone who's made a difference in the world, or anyone who's have a massive business, any great athlete, whatever it may be, scientist, doctor, it doesn't matter who it is, if they're at the top of their game, they've gone through some extreme adversity some point in their life.
Right.
Maybe it was when they were 8, maybe it was when they're 28,
right.
Maybe it was when they're 48.
Right.
But they've gone through something extreme that they've had to overcome.
Right. And dude, those things are the things that are going to teach you what to do when things go wrong, how to react. They're going to give you your strength. They're going to give you your competitive advantage. And people spend so much time trying to seek the comfort that society tells us we have to have, right? They say, oh, well, get a safe job and marry and have 2.5 kids and do all this shit that is considered safe. And people seek the path of least resistance. And by doing that, they avoid all these things that could potentially end up making them so much more fulfilled, impactful, and all the great things that, make people quote unquote successful, not just financially, but in any area.
Right.